King Kekaulike High School Drama is presenting Michael Stewart, Charles Strauss, and Lee Adams' classic Broadway hit, Bye Bye Birdie, in the not-so-classic Cafetorium. Paul James Brown went to see how high it flew for this week's edition of Curtain Call.
Chris Kepler, the director of drama at King Kekaulike High School, has pushed the envelope with this production of Bye Bye Birdie, not just creatively transforming one of the most inadequate and difficult theater spaces, the horrific Cafetorium, into multiple settings, including a cross with Ed Sullivan that flies in from a place where there is no fly space. But he has also forged a collaboration with the music department to provide a first-rate orchestra to accompany the performers. Everyone knows the story, which is a fantasy, about a teen idol going into the army and a publicity stunt to keep a failing songwriter, Albert Peterson, from going out of business and becoming an English teacher. There is a side plot which was built around Chita Rivera's character, Rosie, who became Alvarez after two Western stars, Carol Haney and Edie Gourmet, turned down the role when her name was Grant. This involves an unlikely love triangle between Rosie, Albert, and his overbearing, hyper-dramatic mother, May, who uses everything in her arsenal, including bigotry, to keep her son for herself. As Albert Peterson, James McCain looks terrific and sings and dances very well. His put on a happy face was wonderful. I love the way he twirled the two sad girls, Pua Kenny Kepler and Marina Caroso, like batons. Miss Caroso was particularly adorable as she tried to hide her smile so she could continue to dance with Master Peterson. It was a musical high point of the show. Speaking of musical, the King Kekaulike High School Orchestra raised the level of production substantially. Director Casey Nagata is to be congratulated for excellent work. He is so lucky to have a violinist as accomplished as Kisa Uradomo. Her solos throughout the evening were such a pleasure to hear. Also, trumpeters Journey Anosara and Quinton Uradomo were outstanding as well, along with flutist Lorraine Konohia and the entire percussion section. Janine Harris, Mickey Johnson, Isaiah Kamauno, Kiara Ann Kimuzuka, and Katrina Thomas. Bravo to these fine young musicians and their director. I have to say, the sound by Reef Randall was another standout element in this show. The wireless mics performed flawlessly, and I love that they were only used for the songs, but not in the dialogue. Other theaters should take note of this convention. It allows for the depth and warmth of live theater while providing the pizzazz needed to make musical numbers sound first-rate. As Conrad Birdie, Kai Mana Smith should consider trying out for Burn in Love they are attempting to mount in Honolulu. I know they are having a difficult time finding one. This Birdie had the King swagger, look, and style down, although I think the Stars and Stripes bandana was anachronistic, and his singing on One Last Kiss and Got a Lot of Living to Do was very good. He also has excellent comic abilities. He has very few lines, in fact. He only had poses in the first act, but he was very funny. McKenna Lorian's Rosie was so enthusiastic she won you over from her opening number to her closing, and we rooted for her throughout the show. Her dance in Spanish Rose was sultry and nicely done, especially her full split on the table. The whole McAfee family were hilarious. I particularly thought Stephanie Fothery's Doris captured both the frustration and irritation of a mother perfectly. Mr. Randall didn't just do the sound, but he also played the part of Kim McAfee's Keala Bound's scorned suitor, Hugo Peabody. In this role, Mr. Randall got to punch out Conrad Birdie and win over Ms. Bound's Kim. His playing was sensitive and tender. As Kim, the girl chosen to get the last kiss from Conrad Birdie before he embarks on a military adventure, Ms. Bounds played the conflict between her true love, Hugo, and her fantasy love, Conrad, convincingly. Proving the adage that there are no small parts, only small actors, Rosie Colhavy-Sutherland as Ursula Merkel, who was the star of Pollyanna, was fully committed every moment she was on stage. Totally involved and constantly concentrating, she brought great energy to the stage. The ensemble provided choral and dance work to the show, filling out the scenes beautifully. If energy, enthusiasm, and pure joy of performing were an award criteria, this show would be worthy of a Tony. I must mention an especially heartwarming aspect of the show. Mr. Kepler who is most interested in the students and their experience, has cast Abby Clayton, a special student, in 4 shows. She is in the ensemble and has 2 key moments in this show. It brought tears to my eyes. She is a senior. I'm sure she will never forget her times on stage. Finally, the one who stole the show was Kenna Regal. Her hypochondriacal, hysterical, Hispanophobe mother, May Peterson, was a classic from her voice to her attitude to her relationship. She had it all going on. She was so funny. It wasn't so much what she was saying, but how she said it that caused one to laugh. It's a huge undertaking to try to do a Broadway musical in a cafetorium, which I believe were designed by people who either had never seen theater or hated it. Mr. Kepler consistently does work that uplifts both his students and his school, and his love for theater and what it does creates memorable experiences for all. The show continues until May 17th, Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 3. Go and support this work. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. I'm Paul James Brown. Ahui ho. Next week I'll have a preview of the Maui Film Festival.
This portion of Maui TV News is sponsored by Haleakala Solar. Haleakala Solar, plugging Maui into the sun for over 30 years.
Legends speak of a time when a great hero harnessed the sun to share its power for all our Aina. We are the House of the Sun. Haleakala. Saving energy and the environment. Call or visit our showroom to learn how we've been keeping the legend alive for over 30 years. We are the most experienced, dependable team in all the islands. Rely on Haleakala Solar to bring the power of the sun into your home.
Discovering Hawaii means experiencing a sense of place, touching our island culture, and savoring those precious moments. That's what the Ka'anapali Beach Hotel and its ohana offers you. To ensure your island stay on Maui is the discovery of your island home away from home. The Ka'anapali Beach Hotel, Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel.